Good day, Gail.
Tina. That's okay.
Hey.
Nobody knows what to call me anymore.
Right. Well, I tell you, first of all, I'm really excited to connect with you. Gail, if you could just take, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, where you're at in this fantastic country, and all that great stuff, I would greatly appreciate it.
All right. My name is Gia Overton. I'm actually a licensed realtor in the great state of Texas, and I focus on San Antonio. So I do retail, I do investment, I do all kinds of real estate, and I know it's a great place to be right now.
Yeah, fantastic. So you're in San Antonio, and I hear it's growing, by the way.
Yeah, we expect to double our population to roughly 3 million by 2030. We're going to be one of the fastest growing cities in the U.S., which puts me in a fantastic place as a real estate agent. So
it most certainly does. And I tell you, I know that you're busy. First of all, I've got the messages, and then prior to us pushing record, my goodness, you've got a lot going on. So congratulations, first of all, on all your success. Let's kind of just rewind here for a second to what you used to do prior to the high-end client program, being a licensed real estate agent, okay? What did you do prior to the high-end client program that necessarily didn't work to get, attract new listings and buyers?
Okay, so I went to work with a traditional real estate brokerage. They were mid-market luxury homes. They had a way of doing things. They have a lead generation program. They bring you in, and it's the same old crap. And essentially what you get are the dregs. You get all these rental leads. The bottom line is they keep promoting how you're going to succeed. But the real truth is that you don't succeed unless you get off your butt and take serious action yourself. And I wasn't doing it. I had enough to live on. It was great, but I was struggling. I was new to San Antonio, so trying to build a client base was really hard since it's a huge city, right?
Yep.
I don't know where to focus, don't know what to do, so I needed something or I needed a new job.
Right. I tell you, one of the, and I'm just going to bring it up for a second, one of the most touching messages I've ever received, literally, was a message that you had sent stating that prior to joining the high-end client program, you had debated moving out of the real estate business.
Absolutely.
And man, we both sat here today saying, thank God. Thank God.
Absolutely.
You opened that email.
Mm-hmm.
And for us too, because man, you've really blessed our lives. Just you are an action taker. And what you've built over the course of time that we've been together is just us seeing it unfold. My goodness.
Yeah.
It keeps me up at night. I can't even imagine like the way that you feel. So let me ask you this question before we get into where you're at and your results and all that great stuff. What have you been, okay, so where you're sitting right now with the results that you have and listings and buyers that you have and that you've closed already to date, what have you gotten those if you want to join the high-end client program?
I might have, but it would have taken me about 5 years. So, and I probably wouldn't have done it as well as I have, that's the honest truth, because it's, even in traditional real estate, you have to go build a network, you have to build a client base, you have to build a communication. You helped me with the tools to make it happen just like that. It was just amazing. I had immediate results, and I'm kind of, you give me a little food and I'm going to sit at the table till I'm stuffed, right? So I just kept going and going until I got everything happening. And now it's like, oh crap, I need to figure out some ways to manage this so that I can just keep it going.
Yeah. So. Well, I understand in multiple ways. So, and we're talking months that we've been together, that you've been in the high-end client program, and not years. I just want, you all to know that. So to date.
6 months to be exact. Well, 7 months to be exact, yeah.
That's okay. So 7 months. That's fantastic. So just briefly before we started to record, you had started to go through some of your results, and I'm really really happy for you because I mean it's all the ripple effect of you taking, in my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, just simple action. I don't think there was anything fancy about what we showed you and about what you implemented. I really don't, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think, very simple movements, but consistent on your end. And to date, and you can kind of go into a little bit more details on this, but you've had 12 listings, okay? 12 listings, 12 buyer contracts, and over 8 closed deals. And we're not talking about average listing prices of like 115,000. You upped your average listing right now to, I mean, you're like right at what, 300K on your listing size?
As an average listing, yeah. And of course, then I have these balloon pops that I was sharing with you earlier, but it's like, yeah, my typical is roughly around 300. So on the sales side.
300. So I was accurate just now. So you've gotten 12 listings.
Yes.
Okay. And then 12 buyers. And then did I hear you right prior to this? So how?
Stop. My buyer list, it's huge. Listings, I got 12, but buyers, no. I've got over 50 buyers reaching out to me every day asking me to find a property. My problem is I can't find enough property. So, no, the buyer list is huge.
Oh, man. Whew, I'm starting to sweat over here. The listing that I think it was one of your last listings that you just got to as well. How big was that?
1.5 million. Of course, if you want the furniture, it's 1.6. So it's a stunning house in the historic district. Yeah, it's a gorgeous house.
Oh, wow.
Let me tell you how quickly I got this listing. I actually stopped at the gentleman's restaurant at the back door because they were already closed, trying to see if I could get somebody to give me his cell phone number. He walks up behind me while I'm calling him. We met for about 15 minutes. I had him under contract, done deal. That was just absolutely amazing. And I got 2 more properties from him too. So it's like, all in 15 minutes. So
we're looking at 24 contracts.
Yeah.
You've had over 8 close.
Yeah.
And
I picked up 2 million in contracts.
You're averaging 2 or more closings a month right now,
Yep.
which is picking up because you even throughout our time together, you even changed your business model a little bit or made a shift from, your company perspective.
I did. First, I changed brokerages. And so that's like going to a whole new startup. You have to get all your new advertising. You have all these expenses to just get set up and to market yourself. And so it was like starting all over again in the middle of doing what I was doing with you. And then I hit the dead season, because I met you. I mean, we went to our thing in July, and the dead season for realtors is typically November through January. So most realtors would be struggling during that time. For me, it was like, kaboom, I'm out there taking advantage of the LinkedIn. I'm meeting all these new people, and I discovered that business doesn't stop. The realtor mindset stops because if you're in traditional real estate. So for me, it was like, no, this was just it scaled very, very quickly. So I was very happy with that.
Let's talk about July for a second.
Okay.
You made one little shift on LinkedIn that we recommended, and we're not talking like hours it took or days or weeks, but if I recall right, I think in like within 3 days you had like over 100 leads working, because I remember you going, oh.
And I had 5 meetings set up before I even got back home. It was amazing.
Wait, how many?
I had 5 meetings set up with LinkedIn contacts before I even made it back on the airplane.
Oh my goodness. You took massive action. Your results.
By the way, one of those gentlemen that I actually met while I was in Ohio.
Yeah.
5 deals. We have 5 deals already signed. I already bought and sold, a couple of them 2 or 3 times. We got 2 more to finish up and sell. Yeah, it's amazing. So that was my first guy.
Okay. And tell me if I'm wrong here, but I tell you, the one thing that stood out to me about you, okay, and I believe that this one characteristic, we have it in us, and we just got to like force it out sometimes. You literally, when I had mentioned, take massive and imperfect action, you were the epitome. Like, I mean, it was like, you're like, boom, and then you're like, oh, ping, ping, ping. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hello.
And I like the way you said that. It's massive, imperfect action. Because, I wasn't, I didn't have a script to go by. It was just like wing it as I did it. But it's amazing how doing it that way, you actually get to decide who you are. You actually get to bring out something even better than what you thought was there before. It's not like a regular script where you just keep doing it and, oh yeah, this was amazing for me. I didn't realize just how excited I could get by it, what I could do with it. And so it created not just more leads, it actually created a whole new opportunity for me in multiple ways. So
that's it's awesome. And to hear that you're going to be having, agents grow underneath you, soon is fantastic. So, what, and you can probably rewind part of your life to this too as well. There's many realtors that are out there, and I would say that it's a lot more than what we would ever imagine. Live a life of stress and overwhelm because they depend on referrals from their brokers. They depend on like these leads that have been recycled and recycled and recycled, like they're sold like 10 different times out in the marketplace through some of the, the competing websites and all that great stuff. Do you feel that you have total control and a grip on your business from a listing and buyer standpoint? I mean, do you feel like if I said to you right now, Gia, generate 10 calls within the next couple of days, for potential listings, do you feel like you have that type of grip on it?
I could do that in one day. And it's, like I said, I jumped from 300 contacts on LinkedIn in March to over 4,200 today.
Wait, how many?
4,200. Yeah. And it was to the point where when I started with you, you gave me this tool so I could try to generate contacts. Now they're reaching out to me. I'm just hitting the button saying yes, yes, yes. And, like I said, I have so many contacts. I just wish I was in a state that didn't have the same name, Carlo or Jose. I have like 50 Carlos in my phone. I'm like, now I have to give them, but my phone's exploding. My contact database is overwhelming. And, I could reach out and make 10 phone calls in an hour. So that's how many real contacts. That's the difference, is these are real contacts. When you work with a brokerage and they give you a lead, you have about a 10% chance that person was doing more than just tire kicking. These are people who actually want to do business. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
That is, it's just so awesome to hear. Forward moving pace and direction for you. And I've only got a couple more questions for you because I know you're busy. You're probably getting messages as we speak. So forward moving your pace and direction of your business. If you were to say in the next 12 months, okay? So in the next 12 months from right now, how many listings and buyers do you feel like you will be working with in the next 12 months with the way that you're scaling and all that great stuff? And granted, you've already mentioned 24 in the last 6 months or so, but I know that you're picking up and it's starting to scale up. So talk to me about that. I mean, from a monthly standpoint, what are you looking to accomplish?
Okay, so I have a lot of buyers who buy a lot of property. I have one guy who buys over 120 a year. He invests, he rehabs, he flips, he holds, he does all kinds of things. So, just having the one key investor is great, except that I'm not his only realtor. He's got everybody doing this. But even if I got 20 a year from, it's always a double dip for me. I sell him the property, I sell his property. So for me to have, I would love to be able to do, roughly 200 transactions. That's an easy thing to do with the right kind of buyers. And they're all coming into me right now. It's just establishing, where I can get the inventory. So ideally, I'd like to do over 200 transactions. And I'd like to set it up so that I don't have to be at all the closings, because I'd rather be out selling, Once it's done, just have somebody else deal with the paperwork. And then, I'd like to have a diverse product line so that I'm working with them some retail on the other. And I just met with some, and they're looking to do $30 million projects. So right now we're getting ready to secure land deals so that they can do multi-use properties, which is kind of sweet because they want to pick one realtor to work with. I have two of those guys. So I'm not only expanding my buyer-seller base, it's my entire reach. Now I'm going investors, developers, contractors, builders, and traditional buyers.
Oh, woo!
Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot to mention that.
16 transactions a month on average. 16 transactions a month on average. But the one key that you just said that I hope everybody that's watching this is picking up is that your listing price and your buyer's price is going to continue to elevate because you're elevating yourself because you figured out something that I figured out in the insurance industry, and that is this. Somebody's got to work with the big boys, baby.
That's right. And I like what they're calling me now. Thanks, the LinkedIn context, that's how I got these new developers. They reached out to me and asked for help. So it was like, I'm telling you, if I hadn't done LinkedIn, I probably, I wouldn't say I'd be a Walmart greeter, but it's possible,
They wouldn't hire you.
And right now, probably not.
They'd be like, you know what? We're full right now.
Yep. But, like I said, the sweet part is I've been able to take what I did, leverage it, and now I'm working with a whole different clientele, whole different, customer base. So for me, I've always been in technology and executive sales. So working with a traditional buyer who, I hate the paint. I just don't, they drive me nuts. I want business people who really want to transact business and get things done and create homes and create lots of things. So doing this with you, I got to go back to where I really wanted to be. And now I'm actually being able to realize it because I didn't think it was doable when I first started with you. I didn't think it was doable. I thought I'd be stuck doing 10 houses a year, garbage, sorry.
Yeah. Let me ask you, be dead honest with me. And we're talking from a technical perspective only. I'm not talking about you answering all the phone calls and that type of stuff, but how difficult was it? Like what we taught you to implement and what you implemented, could it be done without a website? Could it be done without a blog? Could it be done without some super fancy online sales funnel thingamabob? How difficult was it?
I have a website that I don't think I've updated in 6 months. I don't do a blog. Frankly, I don't do much of anything, and that's also a weakness for me. I'm too busy. People are calling me. I'm on the street. LinkedIn. Occasionally I go to Facebook, which is, a different social media. I haven't had a lot of success with it. That's what you need to master, and then tell me how to do it.
Absolutely. I tell you, my goodness, it's just an open hunting ground on LinkedIn, and you figure that out, and I'm so glad that you said that it doesn't take a lot of technology or stuff being set up. That's one of the fears in the marketplace is, oh my gosh, I just can't, I can't do it myself. You can learn how to generate better leads than what the .coms, and there's a couple in mind that I have right now, are looking to sell you along with 7 or 8 other agents. You can do it yourself. and it's fast. Is it fast? Is it fast, Gia?
LinkedIn is incredibly fast, but I have to tell you something else.
Oh, no.
I sold technology for 35 years, but I sold it at a chip level, okay? I get the chip level, the application, figuring it out. Every day LinkedIn is changing. They were just bought out. Now Microsoft is doing all this stuff. And for me to have to keep track of all that is just, I'm not a nerd, okay? I'm really not a nerd. I'm a social animal. I'm out on the street. So having you call and say, "Hey, you need to do this now. This is a great way to do this. These are the tools you need." I didn't have that before, and so you made it so simple. And if I didn't get it, I could pick up the phone and somebody would answer my question, and then I was off again. So like I said, you kept everything simple. And frankly, right now, simple is what I need because I don't have time to blog. I don't have time to manage a website. I don't have time even to hire people and review their work. I'm serious. I don't even have time to review somebody else's work and see if they're doing it right. So.
Hey, simple works, and simple is going to continue to work for years and years to come. Stay where you're at. Stay where you're at. Let's keep it simple. Couple last questions because I know you got to get running. Okay. If we could, so if you knew the results that you got right now, and we could move it back 6 months ago, would you still make that investment into the high-end client program or not?
In a heartbeat. You don't even have to go any farther. In a heartbeat.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the best investment I've made, and trust me, I've invested a lot of money in different programs. Those are the results, okay? I had results in 10 minutes, in 1 week. You saw the results when I came to Ohio, and it was, since then, it's just like, I can't, slow it down. I don't know how to slow it down. I don't want to. I'm hungry.
Hey, do you remember, and I'll ask you my last question, but do you remember your first week in the program? And then you went silent on us for like a whole week, and I typically don't like try to keep track of everybody and like where they're at, like if they're not showing up for calls. But I did. I remember I specifically asking Matt. I'm like, I like yelled over him. I was like, Fran, I was like, has anybody saw Gia? Has anybody saw Gail? And they're like, oh no, we haven't heard from Gail. And then I was like, making sure you're alive. You're like, I just implemented the first training. I can't even do it right now.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for the immediacy in response. I was thinking, okay, this is like everything else. You step it along, and eventually things happen. And it was like I didn't have time. And the sweet part is LinkedIn for me isn't just a social media. The minute I say, let's have coffee, let's do this, it becomes a personal interaction, and we're going. And that was one of the coaching things that you said, get them started, but get in there and touch them. And my problem was everybody wanted to touch the next day. And so it was like I had meeting after meeting after meeting, and, a lot of them panned out. Some of them I learned a lot about what I don't want to do in my business. But, at the same time, it was amazing how quickly it happened.
That's awesome. Last question, I promise. So for those that are watching right now, realtors across the country and none in San Antonio that are thinking about coming into the high-end client program, but they're still a little bit skeptical. You being a realtor to a realtor, what would you tell them?
Don't waste any time. Do it today, because one, you have a lot of competition here. Some of it's not so good, but you have competition. Get ahead of them. Get ahead of them quickly. Those clients are out there. They're screaming for talent, and reach out to them and say, I can help you. Okay. And it's amazing how quickly you can turn your business. If you're having doubts about your career, if you're having doubts about your success or being under somebody else's control, take control of your own life. Make it happen for you, because nobody else is going to do it for you. This is a business where everybody wants the money. It's all about me, all about me. Take care of you. Do the program, because you can't fail unless you don't take action.
That's it, and that was refreshing. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to the next few months to come for you, and just super proud of you, and so honored to have you in the program. And thank you so much for being you and holding true to yourself and taking action inside of our program. I mean, you're a blessing to all of us. So So thanks so
I'm
much.
so grateful I met you, Kent. That's all I know. Everything since the day I met you has just been amazing. So thank you.
Hey, thank you. Gia, I appreciate you. Have a great day.
Everything about you.
Keep kicking butt.
Going for it.
All right. Thank you.